Right, so I'm basically recording, and as I'm actually recording this video, basically I've had comments and things about doing a video on something else, and it's all to do with something that I like. So I'm going to sort that out very soon and do another video today, basically, so I can talk about that. But the purpose of this video is basically to talk about cash, money, credit cards, and all that malarkey, because basically I was watching this morning, and yeah, I know, I had this morning on again today, and Martin Lewis was on, the financial guru, the man who likes to save money where possible, and he always advises people to do a lot of things that he advises, because he tries to help people save money on bills, and goodness knows what, basically. And he said, cash is dead. Now, he's basically saying that, in this day and age, cash is not always a king, like it used to be. He talks gobbledygook basically when he talks about all these things today, because I'm trying to understand what it all means. But he's basically saying that where possible, pay, not play. I'm going to say play for a minute. Pay with plastic, as in a credit card or debit card. Now, it's all right saying that if you've actually got one. I don't own a credit card. Now, most people might say you're 36 and you don't own a credit card. Why not? Because personally, I don't feel I need one. Why do I want a credit card? It's not something that I'm going to actually need to use in the future. Well, I might do in the future if I had one, but it's not something I need to have now. I don't feel that I need to go and buy or basically get a credit card so that I can buy things on it, basically. My mum has one, and basically, and what it does is I use hers if need to be, like when we're online and we pay by PayPal or we have to put credit card details in. Basically, that's what we do. I pretty much do all the online shopping. My mum don't do any of it, basically, because she doesn't really have a clue, hardly, compared to me. And I prefer to say to my mum, you want something ordering, I'll order it, give me your credit card, or we pay through PayPal and that kind of thing. If I sell on eBay and I get money into PayPal, that's basically where sometimes things come off. But all the money side of things in terms of paying through PayPal and credit card is from my mum's credit card and obviously PayPal, which is my account, but the money is obviously going in there if I sell something, and it's either mine or my mum, depending on what we are selling. That kind of thing. And basically, my mum sorts all the money bits out, so she goes to the bank and sorts it all out. We don't do any online banking, ever. Never will do, I don't think, but we definitely do, as my mum does, all her banking basically face to face. So she always goes into bank and stuff and does that, and we obviously draw money out of the cash machine when needed and all that malarkey. So a credit card for me isn't always something I need, but it is an interesting one because Martin Luther was saying basically that cash is dead. But he never meant that cash is not going to be something that you can't pay for things in the future, because I think that's still going to be happening. There's going to be lots of ways where you'll still be able to pay cash. He's just saying that where possible, he likes to pay by plastic. And there were certain things in that, because basically, if you book like a holiday or something, you've got things going on with a credit card company or the company that might go bust or all this malarkey. Sometimes it means you can get money back. There are certain rules. I don't know what it all states, because I didn't grab all of it because it was all gobbledygook to me. But I'm sure people would understand on that bit where they look at the things like the credit cards and the companies and things, and whether you buy something big and the company go bust. Specifically, if you're if you're paying for something and that company does go bust, you might not be able to get the money back. Who knows? Or you might be able to get it back. I don't know. It's all that thing, and that's what. But sometimes you can get it back. Sometimes there are times when you can actually get it back. And Martin Lewis tries to say to people that's the one thing that you've got to do. But when it comes to, I suppose, in some ways, shopping for small little items, why would you want to use a credit card? It's so simple that if you're gonna go shopping and only spend say £5, don't use a credit card, because if you're spending all little bits here and there and using it on a credit card, it all mounts up. Basically, a credit card can also be a dangerous thing, because a lot of people might think they've got a credit card, they can spend so much on it, and then what happens is basically they don't realise you've still got to pay it back. You don't just buy on a credit card and say, it's over and done with. And that's one of the downward spirals that some people have, because they get into debt because they spend too much on credit cards and don't realise they've got to spend it back. My mum always knows what is on her credit card and what has been spent, because I always tell her. I say anything that we're going to be ordering, I will let her know and write down likely things like what's been ordered. So when a credit card bill comes in, she might say, what's this £50, or what did you buy that was £21, or something like that. I can say it was this and it was this, and we know what it is. Something for me, something for her, something for my dad, whatever. We always know that. But preferably in my situation, I do prefer cash. And I suppose in a lot of situations, it would always be, you can't always pay by credit card, because it depends on what you are basically buying. Like, for instance, you can go to, say, a fish and chip shop, just as an example. Although Martin Lewis, they did say that on this morning. Somebody said, what about, because they had comments, and one said, we go to a fish and chip shop and you can't pay by card. But I suppose in that way, is Martin Lewis really thinking about that kind of thing? A takeaway where you go in there and pay by credit card? Maybe not, but in a way, sometimes there are places like that, where you'll go to a fish and chip shop, as an example, because you want to buy some food, and it might say, oh, the food bill, where I might buy for myself, my dad and my mum. Some of the people in the family might want some, if they're around at the same time. I go to the chip shop, and it might turn around and say it's going to cost me something like £8.50 to buy what we want. If I'm going to buy, say, 2 large batter sausages and 2 lots of chips and, say, a bit of fish, it could come to £8.50. I'm not saying it will do, but it could do. And if it comes to £8.50, we wouldn't use a credit card, we would use cash. And in that way, it's very likely there might be fish and chip shops that say we don't accept credit cards. So even if you take a credit card and say, do you pay by card? They'll say no, cash only. So it's always going to be like that. And I suppose you've got to think of it like that, because I don't think a credit card's going to totally open the doors to everything. Because imagine what it's like if you're going into a shop and you want to buy, say, a newspaper that's only going to cost 50p. Surely we're not all going to be getting our plastic card out just to say, I'm paying for that, but with a card, and I'm only spending like 50p for a newspaper. No, I don't think so. And plus, you can't always use cards in other situations. Like, you can go to a market, or you can go to various record fairs and various other kinds of fairs where they don't have maybe credit card things that you can do. I know there are a number of ways that you can pay now through PayPal and credit cards and all this, debit cards and that. But it's not really something you can always do in certain circumstances. So it'll always be a case of, we don't go to the market and pay by credit card because many of the stores don't have these facilities, and they just basically say, we only accept cash. Cash only. Easier said than done. Simple as that. And that is what I like. I don't like this idea that it's always got to be about credit cards and that cash is kind of dead. It might be dead in some ways, but as far as I'm concerned, where possible, I like to pay by cash if possible. Always prefer cash to anything else unless it's online, because when it's online it will always be a credit card or PayPal, and doesn't really, it's not normally a cheque and not normally a postal order. My mum does checks for various things, but where possible I like to pay by cash. But I do like doing online shopping because that's where you might get things cheaper and that. But I just wanted to do a video to talk about credit cards and cash, and that I still prefer cash over credit cards. I've never done one on this before, and I'm going to do another video very soon. It's going to be about something that I like. Somebody's asked me to do a video based on it. So until then, bye for now.